anything else from. My grandma used to bring home leftovers from white people's house. We learned first time I ever had lamb was you brought home leftovers and all that, all Jew and all the shit you put on lamb. Where would these people learn this from? This is what Mr. Big Head talks about when we say they need training. Well, it's going to have to be trained from the white people more likely, because I don't think the Arabs or the Hispanics are going to be willing to take on the blacks and train them and have the patience that the whites did. That's my thoughts. What do you think about that, Universe?
I think it's true. I think we have to be, honestly, we have to break away from the thinking that black people are going to get black people out of our own situation. We're going to have to be a lot more intercultural and understand that we're going to have to work collaboratively to move forward. We got to have a united, independent effort. And what I mean by that is individuals are going to have to work as best as they can, as much as they can. And hopefully the collective group can move forward in our individual actions. Waiting for black people to get our collective shit together, it's not going to happen. It's over. We've proven it for the last year I've been on this channel.
Universal, who's waiting? Because I'm not.
But you also have a different black ethnic identity. You wouldn't wait.
What does that mean?
You're Caribbean, correct?
Oh yes.
Yeah, you're Caribbean, and I'm not dissing you. I think it's amazing.
Okay.
Your disposition starting is very different than a black American. Very different. And what I hear,
because technically, no, and I'm not being rude either, but this is not our country. So how is it different? Or is
that makes my. I think. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Can you say what you said one more time? Because I kind of talked over you.
You said that like pretty much our starting points are different, and I'm like, how? It's not. This is not even our country technically. Like,
let me answer that. Let me answer that way. I was in one Caribbean island. This was maybe 15 years ago, and on the headline of the newspaper was like, there was a debate about corporal punishment in schools, and the people in Jamaica, wherever it was, either Jamaica or Barbados, they were still for corporal punishment. That should have long been banned in America at this point.
Yes,
not here in Texas.
Okay, fair enough, but in large parts of America, corporal punishment has long been banned.
In schools,
right, but here these people were in some Caribbean island still holding on to their tradition of disciplining children.
They still do it in Catholic schools in DR.
Right. And so those are things that they were holding on to that allowed them to, clearly they saw fit to do it. It must work in their culture. And I bet you a lot of Jamaicans still bring it here, at least the first generation or so.
Yes.
And whereas the blacks who haven't been in their own country, they got to abide by, the mainstream rules. They can't whoop their children anymore. I could tell you, I could call my mother. My mother beat me in school once, and the school allowed it. They allowed it. I was in elementary school. She came to the school and beat me in the school.
John,
allowed it.
John, quick question. Quick question. When she did that, did everybody give you that look like, ooh, he done messed up? That look that would embarrass the living daylights out of you?
I'm sure they did, but I remember. but this was black in their natural element. It's closer to their natural element of how they discipline children, right? The principal, everyone knew what was going on. The teacher, my mama knew the teacher. Hell, the teacher used to give me rides to school. So everyone knew what was going on. Everyone was tacitly okay with it. No one saw child abuse. No one saw any.
It's different now. I had a student punch. I had a mom punch a student out in my office because a boy posted her on Facebook doing something she shouldn't have been doing, or orally speaking. And when the mom found out that was on Facebook, she came to the school and punched her daughter straight in the face. The principal asked me, like, did that happen? I was like, yeah. And then they called the police on the mom. The mom got arrested in the building by the police.
But that's a difference. There's a difference between getting, pardon my language, getting your ass spanked and getting punched. Like there's corporal punishment and then there's abuse. Right. And there's a thin, bright line that you don't cross.
Mom's correct.
You can't have the mom just
in the state of New York, you can spank your children, but when corporal punishment becomes excessive, that's considered abuse.
Yeah, same here in Texas.
That is like punching, for example.
You can spank your kid here in Texas as long as two things are met. Number one, you're not doing it in malice, and number two, the
You're not
intent
using
is
a weapon.
purely for disciplinary purposes. That's it. Like you can't beat them because you're mad.
In New York, it's the same thing. You can spank your children, you can hit them, but you can't use a closed hand and you can't use an object because an object is considered a weapon under New York State law.
But my bigger point, though, is when I was growing up, blacks were probably more naturally raising their children in what made sense for them. My mom came to my school with my
But then,
ass.
John, you're making the point that the starting point is about the same.
What do you mean?
So if that was your upbringing, and a school in the Caribbean uses corporal punishment, which they do, the starting points are relatively the same, right?
That's right. So you're getting my point, okay? So that was in the 70s, right? I go to Caribbean in the 90s. They still whooping ass in school, right? That's still the mindset, right? We whoop ass in our school, right? They still where we were in the 70s,
even at home.
But in the 90s, the blacks had to adopt these white standards, and I'm using white standards, of discipline their children. So in the 90s, my mother couldn't have done what she did in the 70s or in the 80s or whenever she came to do that. Well, what if that's what the blacks really needed to keep their children in line? A little ass whooping. They can't whoop their ass.
Nope.
Now they just be going unchecked all day, every day. Like
unregulated.
Right. And now these people have diverged far from, where they would be had they been disciplined in the form that was fit for them. Everybody's not the same.
No,
Some children, you can say, go sit in the corner, and he won't do that again. Other children, you got to put a little spanking on their ass. Right? They could be your same children. You're in the same family. They're different. And so some children need to have their ass whooped to keep them in line. And if you take that away from them, then they're not just going to get better on their own. That's just my opinion.
I think you're right. Like even recently, the schools in Jamaica, they banned baby hairs. I don't think American schools would do that. They'll probably sue for civil rights or something.
That's correct.
Or like they're hating black hair or something like that.
That's correct. And on it goes. The laws and all this are allowing these people to get so far away from who they really are, right? Anyone ever been to? I know one in university. You've been to the Caribbean, so everyone's probably been to the Caribbean.
Yeah, I have. Yes.
Well, if you go to any foreign country, to be honest with you, they all have their own breads. You ever noticed that?
Yes.
Cocoa bread, Jamaica, like roti and all that kind of shit.
Well, they have their own different forms of various foods that are literally the same. Like there's Puerto Rican oxtail, there's Dominican oxtail, and there's Jamaican oxtail, and it's totally different, even though it's the same meat.
Yeah.
And so you'll see me interview people like the Jamaican girl. I said, "What's your favorite Jamaican food?" She said, "Saltfish, ackee." Right? What's your black food?
Oscar. I'm a curry person. I love all the curry chickens, the curry shrimps, the curry goat. I'm curry. That's my favorite.
Yeah. One thing I can say is that we all have in common is that we all come from the Taino native. So
that bloodline.
Yeah.
It's true.
And so when I go into all these people's houses, again, I'm looking at what do they eat, which is very central to who they are. And they mainly process shit out of the grocery store. And it's very central, I think, to who you are. And where do you get that from? What you eat. And I don't think any Black Americans have a connection to the food the way that Jamaicans or Puerto Ricans or Dominicans do. So therein lies another fault line. Every day I see African restaurants open up here in DC, and they come get your food from your homeland, And I think the blacks are missing that. It's just another one of those things they're missing that agitates and makes them angry. The emptiness inside. No, all speaking.
Now, John, we could barely call. Before we were able to call like child welfare if children were living in squalor and things like that. Now they're telling us that it's too many Black and brown families getting child welfare visits and getting calls to ACS. So instead of calling if they're living in like deplorable conditions, we have to find ways to support the family. And I think that's leading to more children dying. Like,
Yeah.
that's just leading to more children dying because these people are not normal. Like, why is your child on a dirty mattress with no sheets, garbage all over the house? You know, like that should be a grounds for removal. But the courts are now changing their stance because it's affecting brown and black people the most.
Yeah, but heaven help me if I discipline my kid. Yeah, I don't now. She's in college, right? But heaven help me if I discipline my kid because she did something at school that I do not approve of. And oh my God, oh the horror! And now I'm on like a 9-month reunification plan, and my visitation rights are severely restricted, and you know the whole nine. I think they're applying it to different. They're applying these rules to the wrong people. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
You're 100% correct.
Juan. So recently, like last month, we were wondering because we have 2 kids that go to the same school, 5th grade and one in kindergarten, I believe, and we noticed that one hops off the bus and not the other. So we're like, yo, what the hell is going on? So the mom gets a call. Oh,